That's all the time you had now, Mr. Vice, for 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Hearing today. Um, Minister, your government has stated, and you stated again today, that these contracts were not subject to a national security review. The RCMP also stated publicly that the Hytera Sinclair system in question was, and I quote, not a security risk, and you reiterated that point today. But then, we heard today that you instructed the RCMP to conduct a review of the procurement practice, which led to the contract being awarded. Yet the contract was still immediately suspended after this came to light in the media in December. Why was the contract suspended if there was no risk to national security and all of the protocols, from what we've heard today, were followed?
Let me pick up on the last point that you made, and that is I wish to underscore that the protocols and the procedures were followed by the RCMP in this case, and that should be a source of assurance. As to the conclusions of the RCMP's review, that there were no risks with regards to the equipment and the services that were procured in this matter. That having been said, and as I said to Mr. McGregor earlier, it is important that we remain vigilant, and vigilance demands that we constantly reassess the situation to be sure that we protect our critical infrastructure from potential foreign interference.
Thank you. I'm going to ask another question. Do you think the RCMP made, or you and the Prime Minister, both you, Mr. Minister, and the Prime Minister challenged the independent decision making of the public service in December in respect to the awarding of this contract with the RCMP? Do you think the public service got it wrong when they gave Sinclair Technologies this contract?
I believe the RCMP followed the protocols and the procedures that are in place. But I also want to assure you that in light of this study, and by the way, the government embraces the work of this committee. We think it's important to shine a light with transparency on how we procure. That following that, I did issue directions to my agencies to make sure that we are applying the strictest of standards and rigor around these screening protocols. And the work of continually reassessing potential threats is ongoing. It does not end. And we will continue to spare no effort to protect our institutions.
Through you, Mr. Chair, has the RCMP, with your discussions with the Minister, acknowledged whether they were informed or aware of the U.S. State Department of Justice 21 charges for conspiracy to commit theft of trade secrets against the company in question today, prior to the contract being awarded?
I will pass to Deputy Commissioner Larkin, but it is certainly a well-reported fact. But I will pass to Deputy Commissioner to indicate exactly when the RCMP became aware of it.
Very briefly, Mr. Larkin, were you aware of the charges? Yes or no?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. Whether a supplier is ineligible to do business with the Government of Canada is determined by PSPC through their integrity regime. In this case, PSPC determined that there were no ethical concerns with awarding Sinclair Technology the standing offer.
So you were aware of the 21 charges against said company when the contract was awarded? Yes.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. That's not what I said in my response. We did.
Can you answer my question then?
I personally was not aware.
Okay. With my remaining time, Mr. Chair, I appreciate the candor today from all the witnesses in providing these responses, and I think all of our instinct here today is to get to the bottom of how contracts are awarded to ensure the integrity of our system. So I'm going to move a motion that all papers related to the contract awarded to Sinclair Technologies from the RCMP and the Minister of Public Safety be provided to the members of the Standing Committee on Industry and Technology for further review and scrutiny. I'll provide that via email right away. The purpose of asking for papers related to the discussion here today in what the minister referred to was his instructions to the RCMP is that the Investment Canada Act is up for review in Parliament, and I think it's integral upon this committee and other committees to get to the bottom about how contracts are awarded and to ensure national security is upheld at the highest standard at all times.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Viss. I see Mr. Dung.